How would black people survive on this planet if white people didn't exist?
First of all, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you, bro. Black people didn't need white people. White people needed black people.
There is nowhere on this planet an example of a self-sustaining and successful and thriving black community.
You guys traveled 6,000 miles to go get black people out of Africa. It didn't happen the other way around.
I mean, let's take Africa for example. The whole world is constantly providing aid and supporting Africa from all over the world, from America, from Europe, from Russia, from China. All these major self-sustaining countries are constantly providing aid and helping Africa survive.
We are the colonizers. We are the colonizers, and we live off the expense of the assault, Europe's assault on Africa, the kidnapping of African human beings, the trafficking, all of these things that we hear today. This is where it came from. Hundreds of years of assaulting and stealing everything that African people and Africa as a continent had and putting it into the hands of white people.
I will never stop talking about how white people went to Africa and stole humans because they was too lazy to goddamn pick the cotton and the sugar and all the goddamn shit they sell.
That white people need us to survive?
Hell yeah. Without melanin, they can't survive. Matter of fact, if you look at the statistics, white people are dying right now. Mm-hmm. They are dying more than they're repopulating. Mm-hmm. And that's why so many black people are coming up missing. Notice they're getting all of these different type of melanin shots inside of them. They're trying to deal with the sun more. Right now, with all of these heat rays and how the sun is heating up and all of the ultraviolet, infrared rays is coming from the sun, man, white people are dying globally from skin cancer. The sun is beating literally especially in Israel. Look up the sun cancer epidemic in Israel. Man, the sun is whooping. They
know that.
But they need melanin. For the sun can charge them and make them supernatural like it does us. We are supernatural people. We are an eternal people. We really is.
I think the white person that we started our video with is coming from the place of either misinformation or ignorance. Because I believe that every educated person knows who benefited from the other between white people and black people. Let's start with America. Whose labor was used to build America? Black people's labor. In Europe, which resources were used to build Europe? Resources from Africa. Today, who is still interested in stealing resources from Africa? America and Europe. In America, whose talents are being exploited by white people? Black Americans' talent. Now, how would somebody, a grown-up person, come on internet and says that we are surviving due to the favor of white people? With what facts would he say that? Because the history is clear for those who know it. Now, I want us to go deep into this discussion. In the video, I'll even tell you where the greediness that is found in America came from. Let's start by listening to this white woman who seemed to understand the history more. The video is for educational purpose. We come back at the end and give you my insights.
All of our culture, clothing, music, food, if you even go on social media, everything is revolved around black culture. And then you take it even further back to Europe when the Europeans didn't wash their ass. They were eating rats. They didn't even know how to grow any food. Like, they didn't know how to do shit. Also, us cave dwellers would not even exist if it wasn't for black people, because they were the first people on earth. Like, YT people wouldn't even be here right now if it wasn't for black people. Because of the bubonic plague, because they didn't know how to feed themselves, they didn't know how to wash themselves, they were living in caves. Like, black people literally taught them agriculture, literally taught them how to bathe, literally taught them how to survive, taught them everything. And again, we wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for black people. Like, our great-great-great-great-great-granddaddies and grandmamas, once upon a time, were black because they were the original human. So we come from black people. They created us. They're dominant, so we obviously wouldn't be genetically superior. obviously when even rock and roll and Elvis, and we found out Beethoven was black, but all of the music has been stolen from black people, all of the art, all of the inventions. They're strong, they're athletic. That's why, you know, these YT team owners love to exploit black athletes and make their money. And young talent, the dancing, obviously, the music, the talent, the dancing, the strength. Back in the day, they didn't know where to find water or how to grow food, so they exploited black people's greatness. They were like, damn, we can't stay outside in the sun for hours and hours doing this because we'll literally die. Like, we need them to survive, is what white people said. You know how you have a parasite, and every parasite needs a host? YT people have been the parasite, and black people have been the host. They need black people to survive. And instead of oppressing and exploiting black people, when all black people did was be nice to them more than they fucking should have, since based on what we see now, you should have let them mother eat rats. I don't even care. You should have let my ancestors eat rats and on themselves and not wipe. You should not have helped them. I swear you should not have, because look at the ungratefulness. Then you have the audacity to try to turn people into slaves and exploit them and use them when they were literally trying to help you. They were trying to help you.
I love black people. I just favor them. I like them. I have my whole life. When I was a young white boy, I used to wish that I was a black person. I used to wish that I would wake up a black person. My girlfriend is black. She will be my wife, so my wife will be black, and my children will be black, and I like that. I think black people are one of the coolest people on all the earth. I think they've taken such struggle and turned it into beauty and art like they do with everything. I think they're exactly part of what it takes to make America as great as it is, and we owe black people much more love and support than we give them. Notice how I didn't say anything negative against white people? I assure you they will still come to this post and be angry.
America has no culture. That's why it's greedy. That's why it's by itself. That's why it's hated. It has no culture. Everyone that comes here comes for one reason: greed. It's the only reason they come in. And they leave everything behind. Everything. Their land, their culture, their family, their relations. It's pathetic. We're prisoners of war. Legally, that's what they won't tell you that. But in order for them to continually violate their constitution and their treaties with us, we have to be prisoners of war. Okay? So the whole idea of what Guantanamo and Bagram comes from Indian reservations, just like the Nazi, what Hitler called the labor camps. That he wrote, the United States of America has a great idea. Apartheid in South Africa, that came here. The West Bank, the whole strategy of the Israelis comes from America. Because it's an outlaw country. It always has been an outlaw country. It's evil to its own people, and they don't see it.
Let me break something down for you, right? America is not just a country. It's a machine, every piece of it. The government, the corporations, the banks, the military, the schools, they're all gears working together to keep this engine running. But here's the truth that they don't want you to realize. This machine does not run without us. Black people have been the engine oil of America since 1619. We built the infrastructure, we picked the cotton that funded Wall Street, and created the culture that powers the world. We are the rhythm, the labor, the innovation, the humanity that keeps this whole thing from rusting apart. And now under Project 2025, that same machine is being redesigned, not to include us, but to use us quietly while pretending we don't matter. They're trying to rebuild America into a system that looks free on paper, but functions like a modern plantation, where your work is necessary, but your freedom is optional, where your voice is legal, but your influence is erased. That's what this Trump regime won't say out loud. They don't want America to look racist. They just want it to function that way again. They don't want segregation signs. They want segregation through policy like housing and wages and education and even access to the truth. See, every machine needs two things, right? Power and control. And Black America has always been the power. That's why they fight so hard for the control. They can't risk us realizing how valuable we are, because if we ever moved in unity, this whole engine would have to be rebuilt from the ground up. But here's the part that they have not calculated for. We're not just workers in this machine anymore. We're becoming engineers. We're creating our own businesses. We're building our own schools. We're mastering technology and globally connecting to Africa and the diaspora. We're learning how the system works so we can build one that works for us. And let me tell you something else. If America ever tries to run without us, without our creativity, our moral compass, our spirit, it'll run loud, but it won't go anywhere. Because without the people who built it, the machine breaks down. So my message is simple. Don't fear Project 2025. Understand it. Because once you understand how this machine operates, you can stop being a cog and start being a creator. You can stop asking to be accepted and start designing your own future. Because the truth is, America needs us far more than we need it. And when that realization becomes collective, when we all start moving like we know our value, no president, no project, no policy can stop what's coming next.
If you really think about it, bruh, it's our world and everybody's just living in it. Everybody always talk about, oh, Black Americans have main character complex or main character syndrome. Maybe it's because y'all think we're the main characters. So y'all treat us like the main characters. So we feel like the main characters because we are the main characters now. You know what I mean? Somebody's always hating on us, hating on our shit, talking about us. Somebody's always showing love to us, as they should, bro. Like our culture, music, fashion, language. Our culture is the most, what's it called? It's the most assimilated into. The most assimilated into. It's the most copied, the most emulated. It's really our world, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
There's no boycott, economic blackout, or strike that's ever gonna work without the Black community showing up. We are the number one consumers in this country. We are the majority holders of the jobs that run this place. Part of our oppression is keeping us in these diabolical low-waged positions. A part of our oppression is keeping us in these jobs that are going to be taxed the highest rates. And unless Black Americans join in, there's no way we will ever get any movement to work. Black America, I am calling out to you because I know without you, we won't win this battle. A revolution will never happen without Black Americans joining in. And everything that is going on right now is detrimental to our community. I know you've heard about the People's Sick Day. I know you've seen it come across your FYP. So why haven't you joined us yet? You know this won't work without you. And if we don't do this, our children will suffer the worst fate of this in the end. These jobs we hate, they'll hate them more. These loans we can't get, they'll get less of. These schools they underfund will be more underfunded. Without our efforts, there's no way we will fix this, and our children will suffer the consequences of it the most.
To all the white people who say, if it wasn't for colonization, we wouldn't have technology, you wouldn't have this phone right now, you wouldn't be on the internet right now, etc., etc. One, not true. There was plenty of technology and mathematical and health and so many advancements prior to colonization, and all the Europeans saying, oh my God, this is so cool, I'm gonna burn it all down because I didn't make it. You know, just besides all of that, I would rather not have this phone, not have internet, not have access to any modern day technology if it would mean that my ancestors were not enslaved. I had the community that I was supposed to be born into. I was on the homeland that my ancestors came from. I had access to the cultural, spiritual traditions and customs that my ancestors took part of. I had access to the language that my ancestors took part of. I had access to the community that my ancestors were a part of. I do not want this shit. I do not care for this shit. I am not grateful, and I will never be grateful that my ancestors were enslaved. So you can take all of that and shove it up your ass. Thanks. Goodbye.
The fact that the Department of Corruption has come out to start making comments and statements about Black culture, oh my God, we have sincerely hit a new ceiling, y'all. Or we broke one. They are just sick and tired of hearing about our rap music. They're tired of seeing our baggy clothes. They're tired of telling us to pull our pants up. They're tired of telling us to turn our music down, straighten our hair, and look more like them. They're tired of it. They just don't want to see or deal with us anymore. Because that's what everyone's thinking, right?
Brothers and sisters, I'm so happy that you are always coming back to contribute to this conversation. Now let's talk about the discussion that we are having. We started our video with a young white man saying how black people wouldn't survive if it wasn't the favor of white people, and that is totally wrong. I'm gonna give you facts. Africa was civilized before Europe. There were many kingdoms, many empires in Africa that became civilized many years before the civilization in Europe. Empires like Mali, Egypt, Songhai, Kushite. Those were strong civilizations in Africa that became civilized at the moment when Europeans were still living in caves, when Europeans were still fighting each other. These Africans at that time, they had the ability to sail across the ocean and go to other parts of the world. In fact, the king of Mali Empire, Mansa Musa, together with his people, they sailed across the Atlantic. They arrived on the Americas, but they didn't want to take that land and claim it to be theirs. They didn't want to enslave people there and make them their slaves. These people had the ability to sail across the ocean to Europe and get some of the people there who were still living in caves and bring them to Africa as slaves. But they didn't do it. The reason why they didn't do it is because black people in their DNA, they don't have this desire to profit off other people. They don't have this desire of exploiting other people. They don't want to oppress others. They are self-contained. They are not greedy. But on the other hand, the moment white people were able to sail across the ocean to the Americas, they arrived there. They found Native Americans who were living there in their peace. They had their own great civilizations. They have already developed their land. They were practicing agriculture. They had their kings. They had their culture. They had their customs. And these people had the audacity to enslave those people, made them into slaves, spread diseases, and live some of them. And then they claimed that land to be theirs. They stole it from Native Americans. As if that was not enough, they went to Africa. They took Africans to the Americas and made them into slaves. In fact, the way America is built today is due to those Native American and Africans who were enslaved by those greedy Europeans who left their homes just to come and oppress others. Now, whenever a white person is saying that black people are surviving due to their favor, it is coming from the place of maybe ignorance or the place of misinformation. Because black people don't need white people, but white people need black people. In fact, even today, I am an African. You will hear these people saying that they are giving aids to African countries, but they're not really giving aids to African countries. Because if you really look deep down, their motive is not to help Africans. Their motive is to come to Africa, steal the resources from Africa, take them to Europe, process them, and then just give a few bucks to African countries claiming to be helping. That is not the reality. Africa would be better if these people were staying with their aids, but also not steal resources from Africa. And many of you wonder why America is the way it is today. As you've heard it, there is one white man who said that America is built on greediness. And you wonder how that greediness came about? I will take you to the beginning. America was built on the foundation of profiting off from other people, profiting off from the weak people, profiting off from the minorities. Even today, it is still being run on that motive. The rich exploit the poor. The majority exploit the minority. That's why America seems to be very greedy. They really want to get rich, but at the expense of others. And that is why I debunk the idea of these people claiming to be helping black people, claiming to favor black people. I want you to look around and see what is going on in America. Who are the talented people? Black people. Who dominate in the NBA? Black Americans. Who are the owners of those NBA teams? White Americans. So what is happening there? These white Americans, owners of NBA teams, are benefiting from talented black Americans. In NFL, who are the major players in NFL? They are black Americans. Now, who are the managers of those NFL teams? White Americans. They have these tricks of making sure that they benefit from black people. The music industry. Many of the talented musicians in America are black Americans. But who owns music records? Who are the managers of those talents? White American. All they do is to try to benefit. All they do is to try to profit off from the talents of black people. That is why it would be wrong to say that black people need white people. But it is the other way around. White people need black people. I'm saying it. White people need black people. Even looking at biology, many of them are trying to feed their lips with liquid so that they have the same lips as black Americans. Many of them are trying to inject themselves with melanin so that they become like black Americans. Yesterday I was watching a video of a white person who left his country just to come to Africa and get married to one melanated queen so that he can inject melanin into their lineage. According to him, his doctors told him that he has higher chances of giving birth to albino people. And to avoid that, he had to leave his country and come to Africa and got married to one melanated queen so that I can avoid all of those problems. So y'all black people have got to understand that they need you more than how you need them. So that was it for today. I want you to contribute to this conversation by dropping your ideas down there in the comment section. And if you have enjoyed watching this episode today, just click on the like button and subscribe for more interesting episodes. Mr. TA, your African bladder, sending love and hugs from Africa. Ciao.